Artificial intelligence systems are now making life and death targeting decisions faster than any human operator can process. And according to a United Nations investigation, at least one autonomous weapon has already engaged human targets on its own without waiting for approval. But that's just the beginning of what's been deployed in 2025. Military forces worldwide have crossed a technological threshold where machines don't just assist in combat, they actively coordinate attacks, overwhelm defenses through swarming behavior, and operate beneath the ocean for days completely undetected. The economics of warfare itself is being rewritten as cheap AI guided drones force defenders to burn through $1 million interceptors. Once you understand how these 10 weapon systems actually function, why the Pentagon's massive drone army program missed all its deployment deadlines, and what happens when an entire military becomes dependent on a single AI network that could fail or get hacked, you'll realize modern conflict has fundamentally transformed into something the world has never experienced before.
We're examining the 10 most significant AI-powered weapon systems that are actively changing how modern conflicts unfold and how nations calculate military risk in 2025. These aren't experimental prototypes locked in research labs. These are operational systems that have been tested, deployed, and in some cases already used in active combat zones. Let's break down exactly what makes each of these systems so revolutionary and so potentially dangerous. Starting with counter-drone grids, militaries worldwide have deployed sophisticated directed energy systems that combine radar tracking, optical cameras, and artificial intelligence to automatically detect and disable incoming drone swarms. These defensive platforms use high-energy microwaves or precision-guided lasers to physically take down aerial threats before they reach their targets. The United Kingdom and United States have both conducted extensive public trials of these technologies. Britain's Dragonfire system and the U.S. Army's Directed Energy Maneuver Short-Range Air Defense, abbreviated as DEM-SHORAD, prototypes have demonstrated successful drone intercepts during military exercises throughout 2024 and 2025. The next evolutionary step involves networking these individual defensive grids so they can coordinate protection for military convoys and forward operating bases against massive simultaneous drone attacks. A single AI-directed defensive node can now automatically respond to dozens of incoming drones significantly faster than any human operator could physically track and engage them. If a low-cost drone swarm can be stopped by one automated energy beam system, the entire economic calculus of drone warfare begins to fundamentally shift in favor of defenders rather than attackers. Dual-role loitering munitions represent the next category. These are compact drones that function as both reconnaissance scouts and precision strike weapons simultaneously. Systems like AeroVironment's Switchblade 300 and 600 series, Israel's Hero 120, and India's Nagastra 1 combine sophisticated surveillance optics with explosive loitering munition capability in a single platform. They can scout ahead of advancing forces, stream live video intelligence back to commanders, and then dive directly onto a target when given the attack command. Some advanced models even operate in limited autonomy modes, where they independently choose optimal strike points within preset engagement rules established by human commanders. They're relatively cheap to produce, highly portable for infantry units, and now standard equipment in several armed forces, including Ukraine, India, and Israel. Their growing widespread use allows small tactical units to independently carry out precision strikes without necessarily calling for artillery support or air cover from higher command. That capability has effectively flattened traditional military command hierarchies and blurred the functional line between what constitutes a surveillance drone versus what constitutes a guided missile. AI, cyber, and electronic warfare fusion represents where cyber attacks strategically meet electronic warfare capabilities. Past conflicts demonstrated how electronic warfare systems can jam GPS navigation or mimic cellular towers to intercept communications. But new prototype systems integrate jamming, spoofing, and cyber intrusion into one unified adaptive platform. Russia's Lear-3 system has been actively used to disrupt Ukrainian communications networks, and other classified test programs are experimenting with AI software that precisely times cyber attacks and radio frequency attacks to occur simultaneously for maximum effect. Human operators still decide the overall parameters and designate targets, but artificial intelligence handles the microsecond timing and tactical coordination with far greater precision than humans could achieve. The combined result can be absolutely devastating. completely blacked out communications, corrupted targeting data flowing to enemy systems, and networks feeding deliberately false information. Analysts at NATO's Cooperative Cyber Defense Center and researchers at RAND Corporation report that combining AI algorithms with electronic warfare and cyber operations could dramatically increase both the speed and scale of battlefield disruption capabilities. Undersea autonomous strike systems are rapidly becoming the next major transformation in naval warfare capabilities. Defense contractors like Anduril Industries and government programs such as Australia's Ghost Shark Extra Large Autonomous Underwater Vehicle are actively building long-endurance underwater drones that can patrol vast maritime areas and deliver explosive payloads without requiring human crews on board. Anduril's Dive family of systems, publicly unveiled in 2025, includes surveillance variants, utility configurations, and munition-capable versions, representing one of the first significant private sector attempts at creating an unmanned undersea strike platform. These autonomous vehicles can remain submerged for days or even weeks, systematically map seafloors for intelligence purposes, or deliver ordnance while remaining below effective sonar detection thresholds. They're not yet widely deployed across naval forces, but successful test programs have demonstrated fully autonomous navigation and payload integration capabilities. For naval forces worldwide, that technological capability offers a dramatically cheaper and far stealthier method to cover vast maritime zones compared to traditional submarine operations. AI-guided missile systems represent modern missiles moving decisively beyond fixed pre-programmed flight paths. Machine learning algorithms are being integrated into missile seekers and guidance suites to dramatically improve target recognition, reject sophisticated decoys, and adapt flight trajectories during active flight based on real-time sensor data. That allows guidance systems to fuse infrared signatures, radar returns, and scene-matching visual data to maintain target lock in cluttered environments and under active electronic jamming conditions instead of relying exclusively on GPS coordinates or inertial guidance systems. In practical combat applications, AI enhancement helps missiles dynamically change course to avoid decoys, automatically compensate for weather conditions and sensor noise, and respond to high-G evasive maneuvers by predicting an adversary's most likely future position. This capability becomes especially critical for intercepting hypersonic and highly maneuverable threats, where decision windows are measured in tiny fractions of a second. The defense industry is racing to field these algorithms operationally, but significant real-world limitations remain, including onboard computer processing constraints and the absolute need for rigorous testing protocols to avoid catastrophic false engagements against friendly or civilian aircraft. The Pentagon's Replicator initiative, launched in late 2023, aims to deploy thousands of autonomous drones across air, land, and sea domains simultaneously. The fundamental goal is gaining tactical advantage through overwhelming numbers by using smart, relatively low-cost systems that can completely overwhelm traditional defense networks. In September 2025, Reuters reported that Replicator had significantly missed its original deployment targets due to substantial technical and integration challenges, though Pentagon officials publicly stated that program expansion remains actively underway. The program has already funded development of several small unmanned aerial vehicle and surface drone platforms as part of its initial deployment tranches. Even with acknowledged delays, the strategic goal remains crystal clear. Replace a small number of extremely expensive platforms with vast numbers of expendable and intelligent autonomous systems. If ultimately successful, Replicator could fundamentally redefine how modern militaries measure combat strength, shifting the calculus from concentrated firepower to distributed swarm power. However, implementation has proven substantially harder than the initial concept. Engineers cite integration challenges, complex logistics, and secure communications as major hurdles when attempting to scale from controlling dozens of systems to coordinating thousands simultaneously. Shahed and Geran loitering munitions are the low-cost kamikaze drones that have fundamentally changed the economic equations of modern warfare. Iran's Shahed series, which Russia deploys under the designation Geran 2, are loitering munitions that can fly long distances using basic GPS navigation systems before striking targets with explosive payloads. Russia dramatically expanded their operational use throughout 2024 and 2025, launching coordinated waves of these drones specifically to overwhelm Ukraine's air defense networks and systematically deplete their limited interceptor stockpiles. This mass deployment strategy has forced militaries worldwide to completely rethink how they allocate expensive air defense resources and plan deep strike operations. Defense analysts from the Center for Strategic and International Studies and other research institutions note that the Shahed's extreme affordability has made it one of the single most influential weapons in the current conflict, conclusively proving that simple technology deployed at massive scale can fundamentally shift entire military strategies. Each individual drone costs a tiny fraction of what a surface-to-air missile costs, creating an economically unsustainable cost imbalance that heavily favors attackers over defenders. The Kargu-2 and similar autonomous attack drones represent one of the most frequently cited examples when discussing whether machines should legally make lethal decisions without direct human authorization. According to a 2021 United Nations report and detailed research from the Lieber Institute at West Point, Kargu-type loitering attack drones were deployed in Libya and may have autonomously identified and engaged human targets using only onboard sensors without waiting for human approval. That doesn't necessarily mean all Kargu systems operate without any oversight whatsoever. In most documented cases, human operators retain control authority or final approval before weapon engagement. Still, the Kargu case is widely regarded by international legal scholars as one of the first confirmed real-world instances demonstrating that fully autonomous targeting of humans is technologically possible and has likely already occurred. Its documented use has significantly intensified global debates over lethal autonomous weapon systems and their profound implications for future warfare and international humanitarian law. Swarm intelligence refers to drone systems that coordinate as a unified collective, rather than following commands from a single centralized controller. Each individual drone in the group communicates with the others in real time, making local tactical decisions based on shared data across the network. This distributed architecture allows them to dynamically adapt and automatically reorganize their formation, even if some individual units are destroyed or experience malfunctions. In active conflicts such as the ongoing war in Ukraine, small unmanned aerial vehicle swarms have been extensively used to simultaneously attack troop concentrations, supply lines, and radar installations, dramatically reducing the manpower needed for executing complex, coordinated missions. Military analysts, including researchers at CSIS, characterize drone swarms as one of the fastest-growing warfare developments of the entire decade. They're substantially harder to defend against because there's no single control center that can be disabled to neutralize the entire swarm, and the collective artificial intelligence can adjust tactics in real time based on battlefield conditions.
Finally, the AI battle network serves as the technological backbone, connecting all modern autonomous systems into one coordinated force. It integrates the U.S. Department of Defense's Joint All-Domain Command and Control, abbreviated as JADC2, and advanced battle management concepts that link satellites, ground sensors, electronic warfare systems, drones, and missile platforms into one unified AI-assisted decision network. The system's ultimate goal is dramatically reducing the time between target detection and weapon strike by allowing machines to share data and coordinate actions faster than humans can physically process information and issue commands. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.